Recording in progress.
Jump inside the sub
and buckle on in.
Open your mind,
because it's time to dive into
1.
the deep end.
The deep end.
Welcome to the deep end.
The deep end.
The deep end, bro.
Yeah, brah, deep end.
Deep man.
Too deep, brah. Hello, guys. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Stephanie, and we have something new and a little different for you today. We told you last week that we would be sharing actual footage from a channeling session that we had today, in which we asked all kinds of questions.
Yeah, and we really appreciate our listeners for sending us these questions. They were a lot of fun.
Yeah, totally. We enjoyed asking your questions, and then we also had several of our own, and they're all kind of scattered in there. So here you go. Is there such a thing as hollow earth? Is there a land inside earth that has plants and animals and things living in it?
I see the word yes. I see yes. I see the top of the earth. There's an opening and it's an energy, like there's an energy vortex-y kind of thing, and it opens there.
Like at the Arctic top, like, is there also one in Antarctica?
I was just gonna say that, yes, there's an opening there too. It just folds. It's like you're flying on the earth, whatever, and then it just curves inward, and you don't notice it while you're doing it. I feel like that the ice wall is the opening.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like another, yeah, because I feel when we were asking about Nessie, I saw her swimming into another section because like there's access points all over Earth.
Like underwater and stuff, or on the top as well?
I don't, because I'm trying to see any openings that are, because a lot of the openings are filled with water, yes, but I feel like there's an opening that's not, but it just keeps getting smaller and smaller the more you go into it. So there's no access points on our side right now, like here, through the rock or anything, if that makes sense. You have, in order to go through non-water, then you have to go through the top or the bottom, or through a portal. There's portal systems that connect you to the inside.
Oh. Where are these portals located? Do you know where any of them are?
I see one in Europe. I see one in Egypt. I'm trying to go around. Okay, sorry, I'm spinning the globe around. I see there's one in the rocks. There's one in the Southwest states, like the Four Corners states. The people who used to live in the rocks, the civilizations there, that's where the other portals are. There's portals in there. Like there's a lot of activity in the Four Corners states, like Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, and Colorado, but I see more in Utah and Arizona. I see something with the Grand Canyon. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in Arizona that they don't talk about.
Like what?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff everywhere on the world.
Just like energetic or like UFOs, or
there's just a lot of energy stuff. Like like a lot going on as a sense of like you can have healing there, you could do rituals there, you could enter hollow earth there, you could fucking channel Bashar there, you can fucking, there's like it's like a cosmic mall. You know what I mean? Like you can do anything.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of energetic activity there. Yeah. It's a wonderful place for healing. Yeah. Like a lot of those healing retreats that are centered there, the people who are lucky enough to have their businesses there, they're legit. The energy there that they're using is legit. It's real.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But, yeah, there's a lot going on, but I feel like the portal system, I see one in Europe-ish, and I see one in the Middle East, and I see one in China somewhere, and then there's one in Arizona.
Have you ever had a life where you have been either lived in or gone into hollow earth?
Yes.
And what kind of incarnation was that?
I don't know, because I just see a lot of animals. I see like dinosaurs and shit.
That's what I was wondering, if they were down there.
I see, yeah, because I don't know because I honestly, I immediately, when you asked that, I thought one of my parallel lives were down there. but I don't see anything of significance. I just see a lot of animals, like I see dinosaurs and stuff like that.
So did you have like maybe an animal life in there or something?
Possibly, yeah, because I don't feel human, no.
And how about me? Have I ever had an incarnation in there?
I see you swimming in the water.
Was I a Nessie?
That would be fucking sweet. I just see you in the water, so perhaps, yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah, you are. I see you're a long black fish, like a long, and there's a long tail. I don't see us there as humans because when you asked me that question, I thought like, did we slip into a portal and we're just in New Earth thinking we're out here? And I'm like, I don't see that, but I feel like we've been there before, so that's why I think I saw the word yes, you know?
hmm
But yeah, I don't see myself. Perhaps I was a dinosaur there and maybe you were Nessie there. I don't know, but I see you in the water and I don't really
Okay.
see me as anything. I just don't feel like I'm human.
So what is the purpose of Hollow Earth? Is it just part of the way the planet is structured? Is it something that was designed?
I feel like it's just part of Earth. It's just how the Earth has been created. I feel like a lot of planets are set up that way. I get the feeling like it's a habitat, but I feel like other beings live there. I see
Like
blue.
aliens or?
Yeah, like I see blue beings.
Mhm.
I
Is it a
see
different frequency inside there?
not too
Or
different. No, not too different, because if so, the animals that go back and forth, they won't be
right,
able to.
right.
But it's not too much of a difference, but it does feel better over there. I want to say it's kept secret because it's easier to do things there that you can't do here. And I'm seeing the word crime. So yeah,
Oh, it's like unregulated down there.
yeah,
So like governments are keeping it a secret?
yeah. It's kept secret on purpose. I feel like it's kind of like a VIP section of Earth.
Mm. So do some humans go back and forth?
Yes,
Mm. Do the reptilians control down there as well?
yes. They have a
That's what
main
I.
stake in it. Yeah. I mean, they don't completely control it or Earth. In fact, the only reason why they quote control Earth is because we as humans are allowing them to have that power.
Right.
And um, they just happen to be gatekeeping Hollow Earth, you know, but there's other beings there. I want to say some of the Pleiadians are there trying to make it not completely crazy because other beings are allowed to be there. They don't want the humans there. They don't want, because if humans know about that, then they're going to ask questions about everything else, you know? So it's like, yeah, there's no way. But it's
So
interesting to see it though.
the video of the pilots driving over or flying over Antarctica, was that a real video or is that a hoax
I believe it was for sensationalism, but that's not what it looks like when you go.
when you actually go in?
Yeah, but I'm not, hang on, I'm trying to see the energy of it all. I don't, yeah, that was a movie. It was made for entertainment. If it was real, they would have been shot down. I don't feel like they would have been allowed to get as far as they did.
Right, that's what I was thinking too.
And I even thought that when I was in the watching the video, like I don't feel
hmm
like it was real even watching it, but I was told that just now he wouldn't have that space is highly regulated. Like someone with a little Cessna is it's not good. They're not gonna let that
Right,
happen.
right.
And so yeah, it's very highly locked up.
So who actually has control of Antarctica and who's allowed to go in and out?
I mean, ultimately, it's the reptilians. But they have figureheads and people but no, I see them even shape shifting. Like they're completely in control. They shape shift into beings. I see the military, but even them, they're filtered who can even be there. I
Is
feel
it like American or like Nazi Germany type military or?
yeah, it's a mixture of a lot of different countries, but or like other countries and stuff. But I feel like the UN has part of it as part of their. I just feel like the reptilians have complete and total control. They want to control because that's their, like, they can't be out in the open here, but they can there. And so
Right.
they won't allow humans to come over there.
Right. And all because I was wondering about what about these like cities that they're finding, these underground cities? Is that like related to how they stay underground?
Yeah, that's part of their community and stuff. Like they live underground and they do a lot of their stuff. It's like because they can't be out in the open here, but they can there, you know? And so
Hmm.
it's all connected, yes. And the underground cities and stuff, that's all closely related to a lot of the crime syndicates, like just
Right.
like trafficking of everything, drugs, booze, people, all of it.
They just use it all to profit.
Yes, yeah,
So is the cabal reptilians
yes.
and like the Illuminati?
The Illuminati is just one little, it's kind of like a public, it's for the public. I don't feel
Mm,
like they call themselves that. And that's just one arm of it because there's a lot of secret societies that are part of that. And yeah, the
mm.
Illuminati is just one of them. But yeah,
So what do they require of people in order to be like in the entertainment industry or to be part of this power?
I immediately heard your consciousness. They want your consciousness. They
Mm.
want your light. And so, because there's free will here, and so, in order to, you have to like sign over your rights to your free will, basically. And so,
Mm.
in doing that, they can turn you into whatever puppet they want, and you have to do whatever they say, or they'll kill you. And when they kill you, you're tied to them energetically. I mean, you ultimately have the freedom and the control to not do that, but it's like when you're vibrating so low, you don't understand that quite yet. And so yeah, like they kind of get in this karmic loop with these people and
So
they're
then in
able,
future incarnations, they're still tied.
yeah, and they can still control using you. And yeah, so they basically are trying to steal your consciousness because if they do, then they can have your free will and because you can, in this realm, there's laws and rules. And if you willingly give away your free will, then yeah, there's no karma because you're allowing them to do that in the first place.
Hmm.
And so there's no karma attached to it. And so as long as you know, you give us the okay, then we can do whatever we want. And
Right.
we'll use you to do that, you know.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
And what about like the organized religions like Christianity or Catholicism and the way that they're used and manipulated to control people? Is that also the work of reptilians?
Yes, that's just because the humans, you naturally you're attuned to source and you're attuned to love and a belief system because you come here forgetting everything. And so your soul is searching for a belief system. And so they take that energy that you're searching and give you something that seems legit and it's not, you know, it's the furthest thing. Literally, they're taking source and turning it upside down and saying, this is God, you
Mm-hmm.
know? But yeah, it's just a way to control you and give up your free will.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because a lot of what we were told and stuff about everything is, yeah, none of that's real.
Like about the Bible and stuff, or
Yeah, just how God is and like even um because I'm seeing Jesus, like even him, his character, so to speak, like that's not who he really was. He wasn't born to a virgin. He
right.
was like he had a normal mom and dad. He had siblings, you know, he had a wife and who was Mary Magdalene and they had children and they preached love and ascension and
Mm-hmm.
ascension with a partner, you know, like the stuff, the concepts we're discovering. And instead they realize, oh, there's someone trying to empower everybody over here. So
Right.
they turned him into a fucking uh because what he was doing was catching attention. Like people were, everybody, because it's the truth. And so everybody was following that, and they took him and they vilified him and then made a whole religion around him and made his wife the biggest whore in history. Like, can you imagine that? Your wife,
Right.
the one mother of your children, being turned into the biggest whore in history. Like, Jesus Christ. No pun intended. That's that
Yeah.
that part always like really bothers me. But yeah, that's basically, there was some stuff that I watched about after the real Jesus, because he was crucified, but then his soul came back, but he came into the Americas and he tried to talk about that kind, because there's stories of him, of a character coming through and trying to preach the same shit. But the Mayans didn't accept it because they like the sacrificial stuff and they like the rituals and they like that kind of stuff. And so then the last known whatever of this Jesus guy was in the Americas. And then, yeah, that's according to this documentary I watched. But that really struck me. And I'm
Well,
like,
was that him?
I believe
Can
it
you
was his soul.
ask right now, or like a version of his soul?
Sorry, I feel like it was. I feel like a version. Yeah, I don't feel like it was exactly him, but I feel like there were others trying to preach that to try to bring light back to the world. And yeah, there's a lot of truth in that.
So was Jesus like, or Yeshua, was he like a Palladian or like a light being that was more advanced that took an incarnation with the intention of educating people?
Yes, he was. He was a light being and he had a light body and he was trying to teach us how to ascend. I
Do you
want to
know where he
say
came from?
I see the future. He comes from Earth, but it's in the future. He's a
Oh,
future light being trying to help elevate
mm-hmm,
and illuminate. I feel like he is part of the Pleiades, like the council.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, the story we have of him here is completely wrong. It's not even
Right.
remotely true. Like that's what I feel. I feel like he was a being that was just trying to help and they turned him into a god. Because that's kind of like what, lower minded people do. Like, oh, you're smarter than me and you know the ways and you can predict stuff. Oh, well, you must be a god. It's like, no, I'm just smarter than you. That's it. That's all it is I'm just smarter. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean I'm a god, but because I feel like a lot of times because I've even read this in Dolores Cannon's books, when they channel, there were advanced beings trying to come here and teach the ways, and people mistook them as gods. And they're like, stop, we're not gods. We're just trying to help you.
Right.
And so that's why it's like people who have nefarious hearts, they have a lot of information. And then people are like, oh, you must be a god. And like, yeah, I am a god. So you have to do this and this and this and this, and turns
Right.
into like a bad leader, and that's kind of how, because like a lot of these beings were trying to give this information and there were humans trying to make it secrets, or like trying to make it a secret and turn it into like secret knowledge and secret societies and la la la. And there's free will here, so these beings can't make them not do that. But that's what they did with it, because it's just the human, just the human side, like, like, oh, I have powers or I have knowledge, so that means I have power over people. Rather than elevate them, they choose to subjugate them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like, yeah, like a lot of that they tried to pass knowledge on to people, and instead of turning around and disseminating it to their people, they kept it for themselves, and yeah,
Right.
turned into bad leaders and shit.
Yeah. Kind of like, is that like the Da Vinci Code concept of how like a lot of the real knowledge is kept hidden, like in the bottom of what is it, the Vatican and stuff like that?
Oh yeah. Like a lot of the sacred, yeah, it's kept locked down. Like a lot of stuff is kept in Antarctica, I want to say. I see Antarctica right
Mm,
now,
mm,
but I see the Vatican and I see the royal family and I see Washington, and I see the Middle East. Like it's like a secret, like there's the UN and then there's the secret UN kind of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's all run by the same fucking people, the fucking reptilians, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just secret knowledge and because they use it, but we're not allowed to. Because they just want us to fight amongst ourselves. Because once, you know, because if we allow them, or if they allow us to have this knowledge, then they don't have power anymore.
Right. So does the moon play a part in keeping our vibration down?
I see no, I don't feel like it does. I feel like there's some shitty things going on there, but it doesn't, but I see something being transmitted.
Mm-hmm. So is the energy vacuum on the moon, or is the frequency transmitters on the moon, but the vacuum is something else?
The vacuum's something else, but there's frequency transmitters on the moon.
Okay. And is it true that they're starting to break down and have less effect on us?
Yes. Yes, we're elevating outside of their control.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody, but the ones who are, yeah, like and it's a lot, like a lot more people are starting to wake up to stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also like the timelines are shifting. Well, they've been shifting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're still interacting in our daily lives with people who are on a whole different timeline.
Oh,
But
I was wondering about that.
yeah, like they're still here, they're still real, and they're still people, and they have their own experience. But eventually, there's going to be a point where they will wash out of your timeline, and you'll wash out of their timeline, and then what happens on their time? Because I feel like there's people who are on the Earth being destroyed timeline, and then there's people who are on the timeline of New Earth,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like the ones who are going to be destroyed, yeah, it's like everything will eventually, yeah, I can't explain what I'm seeing because it'll shift and eventually it will be complete and total either chaos or peace, you know, depending on what timeline you're on.
Mm-hmm. How often do we jump timelines? Like, when was the last time we had a shift in timeline?
It's not a thing of like we as a collective, it's a personal thing. It's like there's a timeline for New Earth and there's a timeline for Earth being destroyed. And I feel like it's you, like you're the one who shifts. So it's like you could either shift into, yeah, you're the one who shifts. And so it depends on the things you're doing. It's not so much but granted, other people can be there with you. You know what I mean? It's like, think of it as like a big highway and there's a big divide up ahead. And there's like a million lane, like 4 or 5 lanes on this side and 4 or 5 lanes on this side. It's like the 4 lanes that are turning right are New Earth and the 4 lanes turning left are Old Earth, right? So it's like we haven't turned yet, but we're still in these lanes and we're still headed there. And I'm still driving next to people who are headed to the other Earth. You know what I mean? We're still driving next to each other, but they're on their timeline and I'm on my timeline. And eventually my lane will turn right and theirs will turn left. You know what I mean?
So is this like the people that we know that are like just totally stuck in their negativity and no matter what we do, we can't seem to get through to them?
Yeah, because you're not driving their car. They are.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's like, yeah, you could try yell, you know, and like hold up signs. And some people see that and go, oh shit, and then switch lanes, you know. So sometimes you are helping that way. But if you can't, it's like you risk crashing your own car trying to save them, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Like you try to help, but then at a certain point you just have to be like, okay, well, you're in your own car, so.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, you can collectively shift stuff, but it's like the earth is already, in fact, I don't think we're the ones shifting the energy. It's nature that's shifting it and we're shifting with it. Because like we're shifting with it in a sense that like, okay, so there's a shift going on. And so like when someone's like, well, I'm going to help assist the shifting the energy of the earth, you assisting is just you attuning yourself to it. That's how you assist, is just attune yourself to it. People who are like, let's meditate so we can shift the energy of the earth together. It's like, yeah, that does raise a certain level of vibration, but what it's really doing is just your own. You're preparing your own body to handle what's happening around you. And
Right.
because like higher densities, it can kill you. Like your body will be destroyed. It doesn't withstand that. And the same with your soul too, like people like look at it in a sense of people who are given new information and they don't accept it, like the cognitive dissonance turns on. It's
Hmm.
like the same thing with your body and your soul. Like you could try to elevate, but until your body's ready, it's not going to work. And so it's like when you're shifting your consciousness for new earth, it's really you just doing the work to be there.
Well, it makes sense, but there's two things that it pops up in my head. One thing is Dolores Cannon saying the shift is happening and no one's being left behind. Everyone's going to New Earth. And she said that like over and over. So I'm curious how that plays into it.
Okay,
Um,
I had a meditation say the same thing to me. And I think I told you, but it's like the simple fact of somebody awakening, automatically they're going to be in New Earth.
mhm.
Whoever is still part of the old timeline and wars, destruction, divisiveness, racism, blah, blah,
Right.
blah.
They want to stay in that. Yeah.
Exactly. And they won't ascend and they won't be in New Earth because they have not awoken. And so
Right.
they will not handle it. Granted, people who are waking up right now, it's not by accident. It's happening for a reason because they're meant to be in New Earth. They're meant to elevate. And so their spirit team is doing everything to elevate them right now. So they're putting people, entertainment, foods, habits, hobbies, all of it in their path to change them or not change them, but help them to evolve into that. And so the
Hmm.
simple fact of being awakened, because I used to worry, am I good enough to be there? Is my vibration high enough?
Right.
And it's like, well, yeah, the simple fact that you're asking that question, yes, you're already going to be there because you're already on a path to ascension, whether you realize it or not.
Right.
Those who are not on the path literally are stuck in the matrix. Like they're not,
Hmm.
yeah, they're not. So,
Yeah. And then there's also like when we meditate or we, like you said, when we like have put good energy out and then like it can affect other people's vibrations and energy and just like trying to help other people wake up from the matrix. Maybe you're going to be the one that's going to actually like talk some sense into them or say something that strikes a chord or share your story and they go, "Huh, that's weird. I've experienced that."
well, yeah, because you explaining that. Okay, so we're on that highway, right? And I can picture myself driving, and there's like people in my way. So I go over to the old timelines lanes and cut someone off, and then come back over to mine. And the person I cut off saw a bumper sticker that caught their eye and was like, "Hey, what the hell?" Oh,
Hmm.
oh, okay. And then gets in the other lane, and boom, now they're on the timeline. They've awoken. You know what I mean? So it's like
Right.
sometimes people do, yeah, you go into the matrix and you hook a few and then come out of the matrix and that, you know what I mean? Like you go save a couple souls that way.
Right.
But yeah, like back to my other point, it's like, yes, we could do things to help raise the vibration in a sense, like, because what we're doing isn't raising Earth's vibration. What we're doing is assisting other humans vibrating because we're not
Right.
affecting the plants that way. The plants are affecting us more than we are them. Like we should be more
Hmm.
grateful for the everything around us in that way. The meditation that people are doing to ascend, it's for the humans. It's for our fellow man. Yeah, because we're all
Right.
connected that way. We're trying to raise the human's consciousness, and nature is assisting us in that. Like one time
Right.
when I was driving back from San Francisco, I imagined this giant net made of love across, like it was tied to one tree and it was tied to another tree. And so any car that drove through it, it would just feel the most overwhelming love and
Mhm.
change their day. And so I just imagined this energetic net of love and I put it across the highway. And then I saw a car ahead. I'm like, oh, you're about to get slapped with some love. But it's like shit like that can help too, like little randomness, energy nets and like energy grids. Because when I saw that, the reverberance from the guy or from that one session we had, that changed shit for me. I'm like, well, I got to set up energy grids now all over the neighborhood so that people walk into them and feel love, because that helps.
Yeah.
Like it helps so much. So yeah.
What is deja vu?
I first saw the word a memory. Yeah, now I'm seeing a dream. I'm seeing many different things, but I don't, yeah, like I don't feel like there's one catch-all
Mm-hmm. It can mean different things
definition.
for different people.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely connected to the soul. There's a soul, a message from your soul, from your higher self, but what the message is person or up for each person. So it's like sometimes you can have a dream, it's a premonition, so it's there to show you both of these situations are linked. And so there's a lesson in that. Other times it's a soul memory, other times it's a familiarity with someone. You've been in this exact situation in a past life. I feel like with these same people, I feel like it can also be, I'm sorry, I'm hung up on that. I've never heard that before. That's really funny. A situation in a past life with these same people. That's why it feels familiar. But there's also, it's a dream, it's a memory. Yeah, it's just different for everybody. Sometimes your higher self will deliver you a message and your body responds in that way. Like it responds in the deja vu vibration.
Mm. So whenever people experience deja vu, should they then ask the question, what does this mean? And try to hear what they say, or how can they interpret?
I would first go off of what you're feeling. How are you feeling? And what emotion are you feeling? Is it different from what you were feeling before that happened? Because if it's a new emotion, then unpack that emotion. There's something tied into that. Because generally, if that's the case, pay attention to who you're with. And because I'm seeing the past life connection, but there's an
Mhm.
emotion. If there's an emotion that's different, like let's say you're telling funny stories with people and you're generally your baseline emotion is just happiness at that moment, and then all of a sudden you get a deja vu moment and there's like an underlying fear, then expand on that and figure out what about this moment is making you feel fearful.
Just like reflect on the feelings that come with the deja vu.
Yeah, because there's the purpose in that, but it's like because oftentimes it also confirms things, because it's really hard to expand on it because it means so many different things. It's like, because it's what it really is it's a lot of different phenomena that we're calling the same thing. And
Oh,
so that's why it's hard, because it's like calling the ability to walk, run, crawl, and sit, but just calling that run.
right.
Like someone's sitting there, oh, they're running. And it's like, oh, they're laying down, they're running. You know what I mean? It's like calling it that. And it's like a lot of different things. So it's really hard to give a catch-all for all that, because there's some that come from dreams. There's some, like you said, that it's like you need to make a different decision this time. Other
Mm.
times it's like it's confirming that perhaps this person isn't who you think they are. Another one is like it's was a dream that you had, and trying to warn you about something or trying to confirm something, or I don't know. It just depends. It's up for the person and what their dream was about in that sense.
Right. And I've
But
even had other higher selves say it's just a confirmation that you're on the right path.
yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah, sometimes that can be the case. If that's what your soul registers as that, then you'll find yourself, your higher self giving you those moments. It
Right.
gives you moments that confirm things for you if that's what your presets are.
Yeah.
Because like my higher self knows my, presets for, certain symbolisms. So they'll keep giving me these symbolisms to show me that yes, you're on the right track. Not
Hmm.
necessarily with deja vu, but it's like I said, some people it is. So it's like, I don't want to say yes or no on that, but I feel like it's a lot of different phenomena that's being called the same thing. And that's why everybody's kind of hung up on it,
Hmm.
because I am feeling like sometimes it's a message, sometimes it's a confirmation, and a confirmation in a sense of something you're pondering and trying to make up your mind about. Sometimes they'll use that as a confirmation. Other times it'll just be a dream, and I don't know the purpose of the dream and why, but yeah.
Okay. Can you help us understand what is a twin flame?
You have a soul contract with somebody and it's there to learn things together. It's like, I guess you could liken it to an ascension partner, but I feel like in the spiritual community, that term is thrown around so much that it's not, I don't know how, yeah, it's not real. you know?
Mm. So it's not like a soul that's been split in two.
No, souls don't get split in two. Souls that's like going backwards. They're supposed to merge.
Okay.
And
So,
so I feel like the best way to explain what a twin flame really is like what you and I know about an ascension partner. It's not a toxic relationship. There is no toxicity, actually. That's partially why they're separated, is so they won't be toxic to each other because their souls love each other so deeply. They don't want to be toxic, so they energetically repel each other until they're healed enough to be together. But it's a soul contract for ascension, basically. And they have obviously a energetic connection to each other and an energetic pull to each other. However, yeah, it's not a soulmate. It's not a karmic bond. Those ones are completely different. It's just something, it's just another type of contract you can have with somebody. And the contract meaning ascension. You're there to ascend together. It's a more serious bond. Like soulmates, you're just there to be together and you love each other. And I mean, granted, yes, you can ascend and do all kinds of stuff like that, but it's like it's different.
so it's like
Choosing
more
to,
challenging.
well, not challenging in a sense that it's like there's still respect and love and stuff like that, but it's like you're choosing to go through these hard lessons with someone your soul trusts rather than just some random person. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like let's navigate this shit together. Let's fight to not fight, but let's do this together. Like, yeah, you're still gonna argue and disagree, but there's no toxicity. It's just, you know, two souls trying to figure it out together and in a safe environment.
Mm-hmm.
So so there's, separation, and the separation depends on how long it takes to heal. But once you're at a certain vibration that you're not going to destroy each other, then you guys gravitate to each other. Well, the only way you destroy each other is if you're not in an energetic vibrational match. It's once you attune to each other, then it's like you're not gonna, because everybody thinks they're so toxic and oh, they fight and all this stuff. It's like that is not a twin flame. The twin flame, that's like the highest, it's your ascension partner. Why would you do that to your ascension partner? They're basically gonna be you at some point.
So can you have more than one ascension partner?
I don't feel like it, no.
So just one
Um,
at a time.
Yeah, like, well, because that's the thing, that's the whole point, is because you're going through these intense lessons together and racking up karma together and then clearing it together. Like, why, I don't know why you'd want to do that with another person, because then you just be here longer.
Right. Well, I was just wondering because like certain like you don't incarnate with your ascension partner every single incarnation.
Yeah, because it's not every incarnation is about ascension either. And
Yeah.
not every incarnation with your ascension partner is about ascension either, because like in a sense of like, let's merge souls or we're done here kind of thing. Like you choose an ascension partner and then it's like, okay, now we're going to check into this earth school together.
Mm-hmm.
Or not, no, sorry. You're already in earth school when you meet them, but it's like, okay, it's like we're going to go through high school together. So we're going to be in every single class together. And the classes that we're not together, we'll still have somebody else to talk to and hang out with. But and then the lives where they are in your life with you, like you can still get it wrong because you have free will,
Mm-hmm.
And so there's some lives where you're just, on that spiritual path. And then there's other lives where you're probably not because you're trying to learn the lower vibrational shit. You don't live every single life with them, but it's like every single life you do live with them, there's this, yeah, I guess it's part of your ascension, but it's not like you're living this holy, devout kind of life with them every fucking
Mm-hmm.
time you incarnate with them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like some lives, it's like you were married to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So not every life is necessarily about being an ascension partner. It's you're there for each other. Your soul
Right.
has someone familiar there.
Mm-hmm.
Some lives are just about fun together. But usually the ones that are more intense are karma clearing lives. And so, yeah, you're there to work.
Okay. So what exactly are monoliths?
I feel like it's an energy grid. I see lines that are coming from like I see different ones that are strategically placed and they form a grid and there's vibration that happens. It's an elevated vibration that happens when they're attuned because they're placed in places where at certain times of the year it activates them
And
and
does it like activate like a portal or something?
um some do. Others just the vibration is high, so they are used for healing or for channeling
Mm.
or communicating. Because I see someone sitting in the middle meditating, but they're like somewhere else. Like they takes them somewhere else, but they're
Mhm.
still there. They're still there sitting, you know. But I feel like they're used to communicate with like higher beings and stuff.
So how about like Stonehenge? What is the purpose of that one?
I feel like there's a portal, but it's also an energy, there's an energy grid, but I feel like it's a portal. I don't feel like it's used for meditation. I feel like it's a teleportation kind of thing.
Does anybody still use it for that?
Yes, but it's not anybody that yeah, that we would notice.
Like it's done in secret?
Yeah, I see, I see like there's people there, but someone like flipped a switch and it like turned something where they're reflecting or refracting the light. And so it looks like there's nothing going on inside of Stonehenge, but like people walk in and then they disappear.
Hmm.
So it's like they're trying to like they erase what people are seeing and then they go in and do what they got to do.
Hmm.
Like I feel like you can't see it. Yeah, but there's shit going on right in front of your face and you can't see it. I can see someone, yeah, someone's walking into the center of Stonehenge. They're like wearing a cape and it's got like fucking gold all over it and their suit's like black and it's got ugly collars. Like
Mhm.
they look kind of silly. They kind of look like Loki a little bit in
Mhm.
Avengers. It looks a little fruity to me, but
Mhm.
they're not good either, so that's why I'm making fun of them. But yeah, I feel like there's shit that happens right in front of our face and people are standing there taking pictures and it's like it's like there's shit that's there that but there it's being erased out of your brain. But there, yeah, I feel like that's a portal system.
Interesting. So how could you make one of these yourself?
Lots of math. There's
Mhm.
I feel like there's certain types of stone that's more conductive. I want to say there's some that aren't helpful with energy transmission, and there's ones that are. I don't know different types of stones. It's all done with angles and with math, and it can be done, it works better in areas that are already high energy. So like an area by where that fault line is would be a good place to make one. It would be more beneficial to do them around high energy areas, but you just have to triangulate where the center of it is and then put the stones in a triangular pattern. And if you want more than three, then keep adding them, but they have to each one, yeah, it's like a structure made of so many triangles. It has to be triangles. Even if they're all in a circle, each stone correlates with two other stones,
Mhm.
but they have to be done in a triangle pattern. And I feel like the position of you have to do it with intention too. Like there has to be a front face and a back face, and it has to be facing like a directional pattern as well as wherever the sun is or some shit. But there's a lot of math involved. I mean, anything with intention, you know, could work, whatever, but it's like you gotta know what stones is conducive to that energy
Mhm.
and you could do something similar. But I feel like if you like to do what I want to do, it's like I'd have to make a device that would mimic the energy that I'm trying to amplify because it's like an amplification of energy. Those
Mhm.
stones, it's like I'm seeing a magnifying glass on the energy center. So it's like it's just amplifying the energy that's already there.
Mhm. Okay. Why did you choose the Japanese culture? And were there other life options for other cultures? And what were they in time periods?
I feel like I chose the culture because it was one where I could fight and try to have peace as well, because the culture is centered, it's a very Zen culture. It was for the Buddhism. It was so that I could exercise my anger, but also try to find healing. Because there's other cultures that are just like the Scottish one, it's fighting. Like they don't really like, yeah, they're Catholic or Protestant or whatever the fuck, but it's like it's not centered around actual healing and meditation and like shit that actually works.
Mm-hmm.
I chose that culture because that healing actually works. And I was trying to learn it. It was the best of both worlds in my mind. Like I could go fight and I could also try to heal at the same time. But there weren't a whole lot of other cultures I could have chosen. I feel like the only others would I'm seeing India, but there's no fighting that I could have done. So I would have ended up hurting other people. Like because my soul was ready to fight. And so I would have just racked up karma being a murderer kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. So whenever you are given the choice of where you're going to incarnate, are you given like a selection of this, and this, or can you choose anywhere for any reason?
Okay, so I feel like my team's asking me, what are you after this time? And I'm telling them what I want, and they're suggesting to me what I should do. Because all I wanted was just to fight. I didn't care about healing. I just really wanted to fight, and I wanted to show myself that I know how to fight. And because I've came from a lot of that before, and I just needed to be reminded of my bravery and courage and all that. But my spirit team was very adamant about me finding peace as well. Because they were worried that I would just keep incarnating with anger in my heart all the time and just want to fight all the time and be caught in this loop. Yeah, they wanted me. And so they told me, yeah, in fact, Japan was suggested to me because I could do what I wanted as well as do what they wanted. And I almost chose India, but they were like, someone was like, no, because I would have been a serial killer kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want that either. And so I chose Japan because of that.
So how about for the murder life? How much of what happened in that life was predetermined and how much of it was free will? Like, did you know the potential, or I guess you said you knew the potential that you could die?
Yeah, like I wanted, because I've had a lot of lives before that where I had happy marriages, and because my marriage wasn't, or my relationship wasn't the problem in my life. I had other problems in my life. And so it's almost like every life you live, you could like if there's like you could say, "Oh, I want an easy life," but it's like you need something to challenge you and you need something that will make you grow. So whether that be, "Oh, I have a great life but a difficult mother," or "I have a great life but I have a difficult marriage." Or my job is amazing, but this bitch sitting next to me, it's like you always need something to challenge you in every life.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an easy everything. I had a great family. I was an amazing dancer and I was very happy. And so I needed the challenge and I chose to have it be my relationship. And so I automatically was not attracted to things that were good for me. I was attracted to things that could destroy me because I had to find my power in it. I had to find my way out of it. I had good people and that I was attracted to, but I've had the easy stuff and I didn't want that. And so I was attracted to somebody that was a phony, and I was on a quest to be destroyed by them and then find my power in that. And I mean destroyed as in my brain, my will, all that shit, like just break me down to nothing. And then I'm going to find my way out of that. It was a game to me. It was a really dangerous game, but it was a game to me. I wanted to put the odds so stacked so far against me to find my way out of it. And even the night he killed me, it was very up in the air. I could have survived if I would have did this or this or this. But it's like, I even see my dad in the astral, like trying to help me fight him, trying to get me to get up and fight because I had to find my power. That was the point. And so even if it killed me, but it did, but I feel like there were a lot of situations that were up in the air and I could have chose differently and had a different outcome. But I knew that that was an outcome that could have happened. And I was okay with that because I wanted the lessons. I wanted the experience of it. And so, yeah. I
How
feel like
about the girls choosing you as a parent? Did they know that they were going to be losing you young, and did that play into that? Was that part of their life plan?
I want to say if I wasn't murdered, I don't feel like I would have lived very long. That life was kind of a life where I could have gained my power, but it wasn't, I don't know. I think it was kind of stacked in a way that I don't know. It kind of happened the way it was going to happen. And so they knew they were going to lose a mom and a dad. Because I see one of them, the younger one, I see that she didn't know what happened, and she thought her life, that because she was adopted, and I feel like she had dreams. I came to her and there were things that she kind of felt, but she brushed it off, and it wasn't until she went through her own life review that she realized where she came from and what really happened, and that wasn't a dream. Those were real memories, and like she'd have nightmares a lot, and she would react sometimes, but she never knew where it came from. And then when she went through her life review, realized that she had a whole other family and a sister out in the world. And yeah, it was very shitty for both of them because they both wanted their own experience. And in order to be set up for that experience, they had to have that happen to their mother and father, because they were after their own experiences too. And it aligned that we could all have these experiences together. But yeah, it was still just a matter of the fact that they experienced it. That still breaks my heart. It's just that they even had to experience it. But I feel like the older one, yeah, I don't know. I don't see into it as much, but I know she had a lot of problems.
And what's the deal with the name Frank?
I feel the name is Francis something Warden. Well, I don't know. I feel like it's the name of somebody that I liked a lot. I keep seeing Victorian shit, so I see the name Francis something something Warden. It was like nice to meet you. That's what they're saying.
Like the person is introducing themselves to you.
Yeah. I feel like it's somebody from, there's a grandfather. Perhaps it was my grandpa in that Victorian life. I respected him and we were very close. He was really funny.
And isn't that what you call spiders?
Yeah, that's what I name everything Frank. Yeah. And so,
everything.
yeah, everything is Frank. Like everything, like I'm talking spiders, a flower, like if I have to name something, it's Frank. First off, it's always Frank first off. But
my new camera, for some reason, told me her name's Francesca. I let her name herself when I first got her, and I tried to name it something else, and it kept telling me it was Francesca. I was always wondering, where does that name come from? Will it tell you?
I see someone wearing a floral dress in Tuscany, and she's enjoying the sun. She's a large-breasted woman. You always have big boobs. It might be the name of you as that Nona, the life of you, the pasta making Nona. Because I'm getting those vibes. That's funny.
Yeah, I was wondering where it came from. It was like really overpowering. Like it was going to be named Francesca.
Because it's funny, the scene that I'm in right now, and she's like, it's like she's modeling, or it's very picturesque where she is too. She's like enjoying the sun, but I don't think she's trying to model. It looks like she could be a model the way she's standing. She's just has her eyes closed and her hand on her chest, like, just kind of enjoying the sun on her. And there's vineyards behind her, so I'm assuming I'm in Italy. And I mean, I could be in France, but I don't feel France vibes. I feel Italian because your hair is darker and you have floral shit on your shirt. I mean, it's colorful, bright, and
Hmm.
all that. And she's enjoying the sun. And you're younger too. You're not a grandma yet. You're just, but it looks very picturesque. Maybe that's why, because it's just probably that was the most beautiful area that your soul thought to be in.
Right. Yeah. There have been a lot of physicists and highly intellectual individuals disappearing in national parks, and they don't really put any effort into looking for them. Where are they going, and who is taking them?
I feel like they're in secret locations. I feel like they're being used for their knowledge, and some of them are here on Earth, others aren't. I want to say a couple are just silenced, but there's some that are actually being used for their knowledge. They're being forced to work for,
Is it
I
like
just,
Black Ops or military or
well,
like
yeah.
reptilians?
Well, yeah. I feel like that's what it's for nefarious reasons, but I feel like they're being forced to create and to, like, their brains are being used to create things,
Mhm.
and it's against their will.
Mhm.
And well, like I said, like that's the funny thing is the reptilians always find a loophole around free will. And so it's like they're on their own recognizance, but if they leave, their family will get murdered, kind of thing.
Right.
So yeah, but they're being forced basically. I see some aren't on this planet, some are underground, some are in other locations like Antarctica. Is
So
I
do we have colonies on Mars?
Yes. But
Right.
like others, I really don't see humans very far out there. I really don't. Like we're not even
Right.
allowed to. Like I don't really feel like we're allowed to. Like I
Right.
don't see us whole stretching out in space like that. Like it's the other beings that do that. Like we're allowed to be on Mars because ain't shit going on there. Like people, it's like a fucking outpost. And so, I mean, yeah, there's fighting and there's this. I mean, there's never not going to be fighting. Mars is a warring planet anyway.
Hmm.
But yeah, I feel like that's why we're allowed to be there is because it's kind of like Earth. Like we're not allowed to be anywhere else because we're not allowed to destroy and mess up their little quote ecosystem.
I had a dream or a vision of being in a cage in a dark room, and I couldn't tell if I was a human or an animal. It almost felt like there was other cages filled with other humans or animals in there, and I thought I saw someone come in the room. Can you help me understand what that is and where it comes from?
I immediately felt like you're a breeding animal, and I feel like you're kept down there, but I feel like someone came to grab you for breeding. But I feel like you're in a room full of other animals that are being bred, and it's not just one animal. I feel like it could be one species here, another species here, another here.
Okay.
Which is funny. It kind of, I mean, you've had many incarnations since then, but it kind of plays a factor of why your soul chooses not to be a mother in some lives.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I might have several different incarnations having to do with mother stuff.
I feel it, yeah.
But yeah, I have I ever had any other incarnations where I'm held captive or in a cage or something like that? Or just held captive like kidnapped?
I saw you on a ship, like as a prisoner. I see you're wearing a dress, you're a woman, and it's colonial kind of stuff. I get the vibe that it was that same life where you were a gypsy. Who knows? Maybe you were captured that life. I don't know, but I get that's the same, if not that life, it was a life around that because that's the time period. I see you in a ship and you're locked up below deck and there's other people, yeah.
What happens when we get to where we're going, or do we get to where we're going?
Okay, so everybody around you is black, but you're a white woman, but I feel like you're being sold and traded. I feel like it's the Caribbean. I feel like it was a trade. You were taken, and I feel like you were sold to them by your family. I see a father figure. There's someone he wants you away from. So he just gets rid of you. Like, what the fuck?
Wow.
Damn. Yeah. Wow, indeed.
I
Jesus
wonder who the
Christ.
father is. I wonder if I
I
know
saw
the
your
father.
fucking that uncle. I saw that whoever's tied to that fucking Aztec life. That's who the
Yeah, because I've
energy. That's
actually
the
let's
energy I felt.
so is my uncle the uncle that we're kind of warring with now, is he in that Aztec life?
Oh yeah, he is. He's the guy that led the charge.
Like the head guy?
Yeah, the one whose son was killed. Yeah, he's the one. That's him.
So how do we end this, or what can we do about the situation going on?
I don't know. There's a fight that needs to be won, and I feel like I just see you guys battling in court. Like that's the only place that you guys can because it's legal and like you guys have a score to settle, but it needs to be done legally, not through murder. And so I just see it going to court and I feel like you guys can win. It's gonna, guys need to get a good lawyer.
Right.
But I feel like that's how it can help close some of the karma because he's doing it because he can. He's just like that, nothing's stopping him. He needs to be stopped.
Right. That's how I've
And
always felt with him too.
yeah, and energetically by you guys, the ones involved in that life. That's the only ones who can stop him. But it's going to be a difficult battle, but it can be done. And so yeah, I feel like he's always just going to go unchecked until you guys stop him. In fact, I feel like I see you guys sitting back and watching this rope tie around him. It keeps looping around him. Like it's his money. So
Hmm.
it's like, let him waste his money trying to fight you guys. Just watch him do all the little whatever that he has to do. Because it's like that term, give someone enough rope and they'll hang themselves with it.
Well, that's kind of how it feels. Yeah.
Yeah, so
It
just let him do his thing because because the battle is taking place in the courtroom. That's what I'm seeing. And I don't mean there's going to be a literal court case in the future. I'm just saying like right now it's happening through the courts, with lawyers and la la la.
but he just looks so stupid. Like the things that he's saying and doing are just so ridiculous. It's the craziest thing. It just makes no sense at all.
Yeah, because that's the thing is he is so drunk with power that he is using because he wants money but the funny thing of the irony in that is he's blowing all his money trying to be powerful when he needs to just shut the fuck up. Just sit down and shut the fuck up
Right.
and maybe extend an apology.
Yeah, he would never do that.
Oh
He
yeah,
has
I
such
don't
an ego.
And that's the thing is you guys can close your karma and be done with him in this life, but he'll keep doing this loop. In fact, you may incarnate with him a few other times, but you're not going to be karmically tied to him anymore
Mm,
because he'll still have an axe to grind because he'll probably recognize your soul. But karmically speaking, and that's if he even crosses your path, I want to say, because if you don't have karma with someone, it's rare for you to just cross your paths with someone that's just going to be evil like that to you for no fucking reason.
right.
But it happens. He has a lot of work to do that won't happen in this life, but I feel like
Yeah.
you guys, yeah, you guys can. So just let him make a fool out of himself because he will. I keep seeing a rope and it keeps tying like around his arms, you know what I mean? And it just keeps getting thicker and thicker. Eventually, it's around his whole torso.
Yeah.
And
I
so,
keep saying he's gonna have to come back and do this one again because he has not learned shit in this life. It's just insane. It's crazy. He's an awful person. And the
yeah,
fact that I had to be around him so much as a kid and was forced to respect him because he's my uncle and all this stuff, has always been an issue. But
yeah. Now that your karma and all that, or that you've shed light on all that stuff, I feel like your tie to him has been broken. So that's good.
yeah,
But he's definitely going to be coming back here doing that shit again
yeah,
because he hasn't learned anything. Because I see him in other lives being a piece of shit.
yeah. Why am I so terrified of robots?
I don't know. I mean, I'm immediately drawn to a life where there was a lot of machines around you and I see you getting shot by them.
Shot by them?
Yeah, like I feel like there was a time when you were around a bunch of machines that like assisted in daily life, but like one of them malfunctioned.
Is it like on this planet or a different planet?
I feel it is, but I don't feel like it's in a different civilization. I don't feel like it's in ours.
Like in the future or the past or a different
I see
dimension?
the word future
Mhm.
in on the future timeline.
Mhm. But it's something that I've already lived and experienced. That's why I have the fear.
Yes.
Oh, that was one of the questions that I had missed earlier was about future lives. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I feel like it's trying to scan for past civilizations, and I don't sense that. And I don't sense that it's the Lemuria one either.
mhm.
I just feel like when you asked future or past, I saw the word future.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's just something cleaning your oven or whatever you use to cook your stove, because I'm obviously being shown images of shit I can relate to our lifetime.
Right.
This is all the equivalent of, but I see the machine cleaning your oven and then it turns to you and shoots you.
Wow.
Or no, it turns to you and says, "Ma'am, you're an intruder," or some shit like that. Like it starts yeah, and then it like draws the weapon and you're like, "Hey, hey, it didn't kill you, but it did hurt you." And this happened over a course of like 30 minutes to an hour. This is just a quick condensed version of it. But yeah, it was cleaning and you were doing something else and it turned to you and was like malfunctioned and thought you were an intruder and tried to kill you.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah. It
Huh.
yeah, something with the microchip or something. I don't know, something malfunctioned in the robot.
We also wanted to let you guys know that if you have any questions about what we talk about, if there's anything that you want to know about the universe, email us at the Deep End Podcast 2024 at gmail.com.
Yeah,
Yay!
totally. We'll do our best to answer your questions and it'll be fun. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in, listening to our podcast, and following us into the depths of the subconscious and the unknown.
Into the depths of your soul.
Come find me and book a reading on www.mutablemystic.com. Find me on Facebook at Mutable Mystic. You can find me on Instagram at mutable_mystic. Also, if you'd like to check out any of my music, you can find me on SoundCloud /stay, STE_music.
And you can find me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook under Quantum Healing with Steph Green, and book your own past life regression session, or you can send me a message on Facebook and we can talk about what you have in mind. And don't forget to like, follow, and share the Deep End Podcast on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Thanks for tuning in today.
Hell, we can bend your mind next time. Always remember to ground your feet in the dirt and enjoy life with those gratitude glasses on. Pass this on.
The Deep End.
The Deep End. Welcome to the Deep End.
The Deep End. The Deep End, bro.
Yeah, brah, deep end.
Deep man.
The Deep End.